Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for His Majesty the King. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage His Majesty the King of Sweden.
Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Stockholm and Sweden. 50 years ago, in 1970, more than 200 Swedish children lost their lives in road traffic accidents. According to the latest available statistics, the number is now down to only 16. Of course, 16 is still not zero, but it is a lot better than before 200. For many decades, politicians, civil society and industry have worked together, fostering innovative solutions that have made Swedish traffic safer for everybody. However, as proud as we are of our accomplishment in this field, there is still much more to be done and to learn. Through the years, I have done, quite a lot of driving myself, both here in Stockholm and Sweden, and across Europe. One thing becomes apparent on these long drives through different countries. Just like traffic is cross-border, so are the challenges that traffic poses, especially as the number of people and, of course, vehicles increase. This is why it is so important to come together like you are doing here today, to exchange knowledge, experiences, and ideas from all over the world. It is an honor for Sweden to host this third Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety. I am pleased to see so many high-level decision makers and experts gather here in Stockholm. Your participation is proof that there is a strong global commitment for improved road safety. This conference also represents an opportunity to link the road safety challenge to other sustainability challenges, such as climate change, health, equality, poverty, and human rights. We need to tackle these challenges together, and we need to remember that the overwhelming majority of road traffic deaths and injuries are preventable. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Stockholm and Sweden. I wish you a successful conference. Thank you and good luck.
Please welcome our moderator, the Chief Political Correspondent at Deutsche Welle Television, Melinda Crane.
Your Majesty, thank you very much for opening our third Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety. Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and also from my side, a very warm welcome to this conference. It is a great honor to accompany you as moderator today and tomorrow. Before we continue, just a few brief words on communications and logistics. You will find all the details of our program both on the conference website and on the digital tool for which you received instructions when you registered. We have a printed program as well, but because there are sometimes short-term changes, please do consult those online tools in order to keep up to date. To go online, please connect to the Wi-Fi waterfront and follow the instructions that you will then find in the dialog window on your browser. We will be live streaming our sessions here in the main hall, and we also have photographers with us. We have simultaneous interpretation from English into Russian, French, Spanish, Chinese, and Arabic. There are interpretation headsets available. If you didn't get one already, you can pick up a headset outside of the main hall on levels 4 and 5, and please return it to that same location. We have hand sanitizer available throughout the building, close to where we will be taking our meals, also close to the restrooms. And they are found mainly on level 2 and also level 3, with a few on levels 4 and 5. For any questions, please contact our information desk. That's at the entrance to the hall on level 4. And you'll also find hostesses available, hosts and hostesses available, wearing Ask Me buttons. Just a quick word on safety. Our emergency exits can be recognized by the green signs. And in case of danger or alarm, please simply follow the instructions of our staff. You'll recognize them by their yellow or orange vests. Always wear your badge, please, so that it's clearly visible when you're in the conference area. And one last request, and I know it should go without saying, but it doesn't always. Please refrain from cell phone use. It would be great if you would please put your phones on mute, and please do not use them either for recording or for taking pictures here in the hall. And now, let us continue with our opening session. Ladies and gentlemen, it is more than fitting that we meet for this conference in the country that nearly 23 years ago launched the bold approach to road safety that has come to be known worldwide as Vision Zero. It is my great pleasure to hand over the stage to our host, Sweden's Minister of Infrastructure, Tomas Eneroth.
Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Madam Commissioners, Excellencies, fellow ministers across the world, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, friends and road safety colleagues. It is my great honor and distinguished privilege to welcome you all to Stockholm, to Sweden, and to the third Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety. 140 country delegations, 80 ministers, and 1,700 delegates from all over the world. Welcome. We are in a defining moment for global road safety. Each year, 1.4 million people are killed in traffic. That means that 3,500 people lose their lives in traffic every day of the year. Traffic injuries are the most common cause of death among young people globally. So we must inject a sense of urgency in our road safety ambition. And as we gather here in Stockholm, our thoughts go out to those who have lost a family member, a neighbor, or a colleague in a road accident. Such unnecessary losses, all those we miss so much. It is for them and for coming generations that we are meeting here today. The world has decided to use the UN global goals to put greater focus on urgent topics. Road safety is one of these integrated and indivisible goals. So if we can understand and develop the links between road safety and other global goals, we will achieve so much more. We need results. And this conference provides a good opportunity to raise the aspiration to focus on action and commitments to the issue. And we know that the challenges differ between countries. But together, we can find solutions to support positive developments around the world. So the global nature of the road safety challenge calls for a global partnership and for cooperation. And this conference has a vital task, charting the way forward to achieve this goal. And it's my ambition that this conference and the Stockholm Declaration will provide us with the opportunity to repeat our strong commitments to achieving the global goals by 2030. If road safety is to serve as a catalyst for change, the involvement of many sectors of society and accelerated action by a broader range of partners are needed. The results will save lives. And I want the message from the plenary, from the parallel session, and the discussions in the corridors to be clear. We can do it. But to achieve our goal, we need greater political commitments. We need stronger allies and partners in government, in civil society, in private sector, and across the global development community. So in a global world with increasing interdependencies, connections and joint challenges, multilateralism is important. We must work together to achieve mutual goals and needs, focusing on matters in which differences can be put aside, focusing on our common ambition. Is a way to foster international collaboration. Road safety is one such topic. So let us all act to ensure that the conclusions presented at this conference do not end up as just words on paper, but lead to real action. Let us act to give every child the opportunity to grow up in a safer world. Let us act to achieve the global goals. The results, they will certainly save lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister, and we will be picking up on all of those themes throughout our conference. This global ministerial marks a major milestone, Excellencies. It is the end of the UN decade of action for road safety. And the past 10 years have put road safety on the agenda, both figuratively, but also literally. Road safety figures prominently in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And as we just heard from the Minister, the theme of this ministerial is Achieving Global Goals 2030. We had hoped to have the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations with us, but unfortunately she had to cancel at short notice. We are all the more pleased to welcome Jean Todt, the United Nations Secretary General's Special Envoy for Road Safety. He will present the Secretary General's message. Welcome.
Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it is my great honor to represent the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, at this opening ceremony. I wish to thank the government of Sweden, the World Health Organization, and all stakeholders for organizing this conference. In his message to mark the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims last November, the Secretary General reminded us that saving lives by improving road safety is one of the many objectives of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. While the scale of the challenges is enormous, he said, collective efforts can do much to prevent these tragedies. Just last month, in his New Year's address to the UN General Assembly, the Secretary General launched the Decade of Action to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals. And he committed the entire system of the United Nations to work with all partners to expand the global movement for the goals, to unlock financing, and to generate the ambition, innovation, and solutions needed to deliver a better life for everyone, everywhere. Today, we gathered in Stockholm to kickstart the Decade of Action for the Sustainable Development Goals as it related to road safety, to join forces to secure drastic reductions in road traffic fatalities and injuries over the next 10 years. Road safety is one of our greatest development challenges. Each year, some 1.35 million too many drivers, passengers, cyclists, and pedestrians are killed on the world's road. Up to 50 million are severely injured. These numbers stubbornly do not decrease over the year. This is devastating for many families across the world, and it sets us back from achieving the current SDG target. Road accidents represent the leading cause of death for young people. Lower-income countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America are disproportionately affected. All of this makes road deaths even more of an injustice that needs to be urgently addressed. This is so unacceptable, particularly given that these fatalities can be often prevented and their impacts reduced. This is unacceptable because roads should instead be the avenues to greater prosperity, better education, accessible health services, and cleaner air. Not a means for disability, death, burden on health systems and families. Road safety deaths record is shocking when compared with the maritime, air, and rail sectors, where together there are less than 10,000 deaths each year. In recent years, member states, United Nations, other intergovernmental organizations, non-governmental partners, multilateral development banks, and academic institutions have been acting to reduce the dangers of the world's roads. The UN system has been mobilized, legal instruments developed, good practices and policy recommendations published, a special envoy for road safety appointed, and a UN Road Safety Fund established. This is a solid foundation, but it is clearly not enough. As we play our part in the decade of action, we need to approach road safety differently because we should not expect different results by doing more of the same. We need to ensure that safety is a measurable indicator and outcome in the building our transport systems, in the vehicles, infrastructure, and related technologies that are developed and introduced to market. If we continue to flood our transport system with unworthy elements, which bring devastation to our citizens, we will not achieve our vision of safe and sustainable transport for all. I count on all private, public, and civil society stakeholders to take ownership of their respective responsibilities, putting safety at the forefront of your actions, investments, and products. Safety determines quality and value in transport. I commend your urgent call to make the world's roads safe and to put safety at the cornerstone of our relevant efforts. Thank you.
The co-sponsor of our conference has been warning for 15 years that road safety is no accident. I'm quoting the words of World Health Day 2004 there. And this is clear from the Special Envoy statistics that he just shared with us, also warning that road safety is a public health crisis of grave proportions. Joining us now by video is the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus.
Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, given the COVID-19 outbreak, I regret that I am not able to be with you today. It would have been an honor to be with you in person for this critical meeting, but I am pleased to join you by video. Let me begin by thanking the government of Sweden for bringing us together. Tack så mycket. It's a pleasure to be hosted and guided by one of the best in the class. The fact that I stand before you today at the head of the UN's health agency illustrates not only the huge health impact of road traffic crashes, but also the necessary collaboration needed to end this scourge of preventable diseases. Leaders from transport, infrastructure, interior, and health must all be part of the solution to address this crucial development concern. We're convening at a critical time, at the end point of the decade of action for road safety 2011-2020 and Sustainable Development Goal Target 3.6. During that period, countries and cities have achieved significant results. Between 2010 and 2018, road traffic deaths declined by 1/5 in the European Union and by 1/3 in the Russian Federation. Cities too are making progress, with many cities across Brazil, for example, reporting declines in road traffic fatalities of more than 40% since 2010. Since the launch of the latest WHO Global Status Report on road safety, similar results are being reported in countries such as Saudi Arabia and cities like Bogota, Colombia. And in 2019, in pursuit of Vision Zero, the city of Oslo, Norway, had just 1 road traffic death and 0 deaths among pedestrians and cyclists. These are clear examples of what can be achieved when countries and cities commit to action. Other efforts, such as the upgrading of 100,000 kilometers of high-risk roads in China, production of India's first car to achieve the 5-star safety rating, adoption of laws on speeding in Thailand, and child restraints in the Philippines, and the strengthening of Uganda's emergency trauma care system will hopefully all lead to similar results in the years ahead. Despite significant global progress, there is much more to do. In the 2 days of this ministerial meeting, 7,400 people will die on the roads and tens of thousands more will suffer life-altering injuries with long-lasting effects. These losses take a huge toll on families and communities and place a large burden on health systems. We must turn the global movement and strong foundation established by the decade of action into lives saved. Political will is needed at the highest level of government to achieve this, both by investing in evidence-based interventions to make roads safe and stimulate a societal shift to modes of transport that are better for health, the environment, and the overall livability of cities. Regarding the latter, we're presented with a unique opportunity today. As low and middle-income countries develop, they're in a position to avoid the costly mistakes made in the past by high-income countries. With the right leadership, transport systems can be configured or reconfigured in such a way as to reduce reliance on cars. However, it's only when countries invest in the safeguards and implement the best practices to enhance road safety that we can offer walking, cycling, and using public transport as truly viable options. When we're able to ensure this, we help our societies move towards a vision of not only safe, but also accessible, affordable, and sustainable mobility. To help achieve this vision, WHO is committed to continuing to work with countries to provide global coordination on road safety, improve laws, strengthen data collection, monitor global progress, and enhance the post-crash response. WHO's General Program of Work, our 5-year strategic plan, includes road safety goals that are underpinned by 12 voluntary road safety targets that were agreed upon by member states in 2017. They include creating national action plans, improving road and vehicle standards, and reducing risks like speeding and failing to use seat belts. These targets are designed to provide guidance to countries on key road safety investments that save lives. It's one thing, of course, to set goals and targets. It's another to achieve them. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Majesty, there is no excuse for inaction. I want to leave you with 3 requests. First, every country must rapidly accelerate action on proven road safety measures to save lives. Second, while safety is being ensured, countries must plan for sustainable mobility. This means putting in place the measures that are needed to shift toward these forms of transport that benefit people and the climate, with an increased focus on walking, cycling, and public transport. And third, to fast-track progress, we must work together across governments, international agencies, civil society, and the private sector. Thank you once again for the opportunity to speak to you today, and for your commitment to a healthier, safer, and fairer world. Tack så mycket. Thank you so much.
Here in Europe, ladies and gentlemen, determined action at all levels of government has significantly reduced traffic fatalities and injuries over the past 20 years. Yet there is still a long way to go, as the European Union Commission acknowledged when it adopted a new policy framework for the coming 10 years. Applying a safe systems approach, it aims to eliminate road fatalities by the year 2050. Let's hear more now from the European Union's Transport Commissioner, Adina-Ioana Vălean. Welcome.
Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, Ministers, dear guests and hosts, thank you very much for inviting me to this very important event on behalf of the European Commission to share with you some of my thoughts on this such important topic which touches upon our lives from Stockholm to my home country, Romania, into day-to-day basis with very touching effects on people. First, I'd like to congratulate your Minister on the Stockholm Declaration for Global Road Safety. We must ensure that we implement this declaration to deliver the change we all need and want to see on our roads. To reach its road safety targets, the European Union is implementing, as it was mentioned, the safe system approach, actually invented here in Sweden. This holistic system is built on cooperation, good governance, and shared responsibility. It addresses all important areas for road safety, infrastructure, vehicles, driving behavior, and post-crash care. Adequate road safety measures acknowledge that human errors can happen, and it is a need to compensate for them. Drivers and other road users will continue to make mistakes on the road, as they do elsewhere. To err is human. And distraction, alcohol and drugs increase the risk of human errors. But no road users should have to die because of human error. I'm extremely proud of what Europe has already achieved in road safety. We reduced deaths per million inhabitants from 200 to less than 50 over the last half of century, but we still have 25,000 road deaths per year, which is unacceptable, and this figure has stagnated in recent years. This is why the ministers from all the EU member states have agreed unanimously the European target for 2030 as 50% reduction in road deaths and serious injuries. As a result of that agreement, the European Commission has set out a new strategic action plan for road safety. We are already following up with concrete actions. Last year, we already strengthened our regulations both on safe infrastructure management and vehicle safety. Now we face more challenges ahead. Mobility is currently riding a wave of change. As society shifts to become more urban, so must our focus in road safety. We need to look at the new transport trends in towns and cities and what they mean for vulnerable road users. And while digitalization is opening up new opportunities for easier, cleaner, and safer mobility, we still need to consider the implications of autonomous vehicles. I'd like to finish by emphasizing that the EU is ready to work with all of you on our common goal to improve road safety. We cannot tackle any of these issues in isolation. We should all work together if we want to deliver a truly tangible global change. And this conference is an historical opportunity to save lives. So let's use it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that very clear message. Let us now go to Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Since the first African Road Safety Day in 2012 and the adoption of a very ambitious African Action Plan in the same year, leaders there as well have recognized the crucial importance of regional cooperation. Last year saw the inauguration of an African Road Safety Observatory to mobilize a coordinated response. It is a pleasure to hand over now to Dr. Amani Abou-Zeid, Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy at the African Union. Welcome.
Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, distinguished participants, let me start by saying that on behalf of the African Union delegation, we thank the Kingdom of Sweden and the organizers of this conference for the hospitality and the warm welcome we received since our arrival. Majesty, Excellencies, our continent, Africa, and despite lots of challenges and difficulties, represents a light of hope in the world, a young, dynamic population, some of the fastest growing economies in the world, rapid deployment and application of digitalization to develop homegrown, unconventional solutions to our problems, rapid urbanization. Actually, more than half of the population of Africa will be living in cities by the year 2040. These create vast opportunities for us Africans. We need to manage these opportunities wisely so that our people are the winners. Our countries are racing time, facing the pressure of needs and ambitions of our growing populations. National, regional, transcontinental transport programs are implemented to allow safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems for all and link our continent, support our social and economic sectors, increase competitiveness of our economies. However, Africa records the highest global rate when it comes to road fatalities. And as if the loss of lives is not enough, we also thus lose 3 to 5% of our annual GDP. As you said, Majesty, this is preventable. And as has His Excellency, the Special Envoy of the United Nations said, this is totally unacceptable. Our efforts at the African Union to address road safety started early on through the adoption of the Action Plan for the decade 2011-2020 for road safety, the establishment of the African Road Safety Charter, and other instruments at the continental level. However, concrete, effective actions are still needed. Specifically, the strengthening and operationalization of the African Road Safety Observatory and strengthening the institutional and legal frameworks of our member states. The establishment and operation of centers of excellence to take advantage of the benefits of digitalization for data collection, road management, as well as vehicle safety and infrastructure equipments. Systemization of road safety audits and inspections. Implementation of a civil society, public-private platforms for road safety. And by tackling excessive speed and deploying the new technologies in vehicles, we can help also reduce CO2 emissions by between 7 to 12%, thus contributing to the climate agenda. I would like to call on everyone's responsibility, governments and international organizations, for more political will, commitment, and effective political dialogue and actions. To call also on insurers, automotive industry, and philanthropic organizations in the technical support and financing of road safety actions. Finally, Human lives are priceless. One human life lost is one too many. We have an excellent opportunity given to us by this conference for us to benefit from world expertise and experience and to learn from each other. Let us all use it. And I thank you.
Many thanks, Commissioner, for your very strong message. Ladies and gentlemen, our meeting builds on a strong foundation laid at preceding global ministerial conferences. As you know, the first of these was convened in Moscow in 2009 and culminated with the adoption of the Moscow Declaration that invited the UN General Assembly to declare the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It is an honor to welcome now the Russian Minister of Internal Affairs, Vladimir Kolokoltsev.
Ваше Величество, уважаемые дамы и господа, коллеги, приветствуем проведение сегодняшней конференции и выражаем признательность Швеции за прием и организацию этого актуального и своевременного мероприятия. Россия рассматривает повышение безопасности дорожного движения в качестве одного из приоритетов государственной политики, важного фактора устойчивого социально-экономического и демографического развития. В этой связи наша страна традиционно придает большое значение международному взаимодействию в данной сфере. Так, Россия выступила организатором первой Всемирной министерской конференции, которая состоялась в 2009 году в Москве. Она стала глобальным форумом в сфере безопасности дорожного движения и позволила вывести эти вопросы на качественно новый уровень, придать усилиям международного сообщества системный и целенаправленный характер. Текущий год особенный и во многом поворотный для осуществления международной повестки дня на данной тематике. Подходит к концу время, отведенное 5 лет назад для достижения предусмотренной целями устойчивого развития задачи по снижению вдвое смертности и травматизма от дорожно-транспортных происшествий. Завершается первое в истории десятилетие действий Организации Объединенных Наций по дорожной безопасности. Истекает действующий срок полномочий специального посланника Генерального секретаря ООН по безопасности дорожного движения. За последние годы сделано немало для улучшения дорожной безопасности в мире. Создан и заработал целевой фонд по безопасности дорожного движения ООН, одним из крупнейших доноров которого мы рады являться. Россия с самого начала активно участвует в работе руководящих органов фонда и призывает заинтересованные стороны оказывать ему необходимую финансовую поддержку. Однако некоторые наметившие позитивные тенденции недостаточно для того, чтобы назвать положение в этой сфере удовлетворительным. В абсолютных величинах смертность от дорожно-транспортных происшествий в мире продолжает расти. Это значит, что перед международным сообществом встает вопрос о том, какие дополнительные усилия требуется приложить для изменения ситуации. Приветствуем пути решения данной проблемы, предложенные в принимаемой сегодня Стокгольмской декларации, и поддерживаем данный документ. Отмечаем сделанный в декларации акцент на обеспечение межотраслевой координации и объединение усилий всего общества в борьбе за дорожную безопасность. В этом контексте согласны с необходимостью продлить срок реализации указанной задачи и активизировать работу по ее достижению к 2030 году. Полагаем, что на международном уровне осуществлению таких установок будет способствовать провозглашение второго десятилетия действий ООН по безопасности дорожного движения и возобновление мандата специального посланника Генерального секретаря ООН по данной теме. В этой связи приветствуем идею созыва заседания высокого уровня Генеральной Ассамблеи ООН по дорожной безопасности, заложенную в нашу декларацию. Рассчитываем, что основой для дальнейшего практического взаимодействия в рамках Организации Объединенных Наций станет традиционная резолюция Генассамблеи, проект которой Россия намерена внести в апреле текущего года. В России приняты программные документы, направленные на снижение смертности от дорожно-транспортных происшествий. Заявлено о стремлении к ее нулевому уровню к 2030 году. Пути достижения поставленных целей изложены в федеральном проекте «Безопасность дорожного движения», который является структурным компонентом национального проекта «Безопасные и качественные автомобильные дороги». Деятельность органов государственной власти России ориентирована на такие ключевые направления безопасности дорожного движения, как формирование культуры поведения и должного уровня правосознания участников дорожного движения, повышение защищенности пешеходов от дорожно-транспортных происшествий, а также развитие системы оказания помощи пострадавшим. Проводимая работа позволила обеспечить позитивную динамику состояния безопасности дорожного движения как в целом, так и по отдельным категориям участников. Благодаря принятым в России мерам за период реализации десятилетия действий ООН сократились основные показатели аварийности, количество дорожно-транспортных происшествий и погибших в них более чем на 1/3, в том числе пешеходов почти наполовину. Такой показатель, как социальный риск, уменьшился на 40%. Этого значимого результата удалось достичь в условиях интенсивного роста парка транспортных средств. Российская Федерация готова делиться наработками в вопросах снижения смертности и травматизма от дорожно-транспортных происшествий, укреплять международное сотрудничество на данном направлении. Спасибо и благодарю за внимание.
Thank you very much, Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, all of our esteemed speakers have underlined the grave proportions of the road safety health crisis. For me, no statistic illustrates that more disturbingly than this one. Road traffic injuries are the leading killer of children and youth worldwide and have been so for more than 10 years. Young people have been meeting here in Stockholm in the run-up to this conference to make sure that changes. Please welcome Omnia El Omrani. She is co-chair of the Second World Youth Assembly for Road Safety. Welcome.
Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, honorable delegates, distinguished chairperson, young leaders. Yesterday, young leaders from all over the world came together for the Second World Youth Assembly for Road Safety. We represent more than 74 countries from all walks of life: students, young professionals, grassroots organizers, future leaders, artists, and future doctors like myself. But for many of us, before our dreams are recognized, we are taken away from the world due to road crashes. So, can I please invite all the young delegates here to stand up? As you can see, everyone, you can see all the young people around you and the number of young people standing up. This represents the same number of young people who would have lost their lives due to road crashes just before lunch. Today, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Omnia from Egypt, and today I stand in front of you with a unified global message. Enough is enough. We will no longer tolerate any more people dying on the world's roads. Today, we say, hear our cry. It comes from young people from every continent of the world. It's time to stop killing our dreams. As young people, especially in low-middle income countries, we have seen and felt the devastating impacts of road crashes on our families, friends, and communities. At the Assembly, we adopted the Global Youth Statement for Road Safety, representing the voice of thousands of young people who demand safer and more sustainable roads and cities. Now we can see in the film that the youth statement has been rooted in youth consultations, over 200 youth consultations in 52 countries, where youth held debates, discussions, answered important questions about how safe they feel on the roads. Our Global Youth Statement clearly expresses that the reality we face is due to badly designed systems that put the priority of cars first and people second. Going to school, to work, and to see friends is a daily risk for many of us. We demand safer and sustainable transport systems that promotes healthier lifestyles and protects our environment. While I'm being optimistic about the future, about building my career as a doctor, I always feel very worried, with a deep sense of uncertainty. The reason why I want to become a doctor is to help people. But who will help us on the roads? As you can see, with the coronavirus outbreak, the world is coming together to take urgent action. Funding is made available, medical teams are being prepared, and I have to ask you now, where is the same urgency for road crashes? As youth, we care about the issues that impact our future most. It is our decision, and we want to live in a safer and a sustainable world that saves us and saves our planet. But we need your help. This is why I urge you all to pick up the youth statement, read what we have to say, read our demands, but also our commitments to take action. The need for intergenerational dialogue and mutual support is critical for us to leave no one behind. Clearly, past decisions have led to the carnage we see on the roads today. The mobility system has never been broken. It has been designed around the use of private motor vehicles, and myriad industries have been based on this. Today, we're saying and we're asking you to stop blaming us for the mess that was created, and instead, start engaging with us, protecting us to rethink the mobility system that we all share. Today, we are claiming our space at the decision-making table. We are here, and we no longer accept being marginalized, but instead, we want you and everyone to treat us as equal partners for the global goals for the road safety. We as youth, we have an eminent role to play in the road safety revolution. We have boundless energy, we have creativity and passion, and we want you to work with us. I believe that together with your political will, we will make powerful allies to really fight this road crisis epidemic. As the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety comes to an end, it's time to close the implementation gap and to accelerate actions on the proven evidence-based strategies for road safety. There is an urgent need for a multidisciplinary collaboration across all sectors and effective leadership. We are not just another tragic news that you would see on the TV or on the newspaper. We are not just another statistic. We are your children, your sons and your daughters, and we are the ones you say you value most. It's time to take action. No more fake promises, no more false commitments. And I have to ask you that you have to pick a lane. Will you work with us to save lives? Will you work with us to create a healthier world? Will you work with us and commit to a higher moral standard? Or will you confess to your children in 2030 that you did nothing to stop the road safety crisis? We are the generation that will be impacted most by the decisions that are made here, today, and now. That is why, as youth of the world, we are a key stakeholder in the global road safety agenda. We are here in large numbers. You can recognize us by our colorful hoodies, and we are ready to engage with you. So let's get this done, and let's make us the last generation to face the road safety crisis. Thank you.
Omnia, thank you very much for sharing with us your energy and your commitment, and we will take your message, enough is enough, with us into our further discussions. Excellencies, we meet here to mark both an end and a beginning, to review the profoundly important Decade of Action 2010 to 2020, and to chart the way forward. And to that purpose, our hosts and organizers have drafted a declaration setting out strategic priorities for accelerating progress towards sustainable systems that save lives. Let me now ask Minister Eneroth to return to the stage and present the declaration. Sir, the floor is yours.
Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Madam Commissioner, Excellencies, fellow ministers across the world, distinguished delegates, and ladies and gentlemen, friends and road safety colleagues, as the end of the Decade of Action for Road Safety approaches, we note that the majority of road traffic deaths and injuries are preventable. They remain a major public health and development problem with broad social and economic consequences. Previous global conferences on road safety in Moscow and in Brasilia prepared the way for the Decade of Action and celebrated the inclusion of road safety targets into the 2030 agenda. These are great accomplishments that we should be very proud of. For me, it is important to emphasize the importance of continuing the excellent work that has resulted from previous conferences. And I wish to congratulate all the nations that participated in the declaration process in Geneva. And I'm grateful for the positive and constructive dialogue that we have had. Based on inputs from our academic experts group and our previous relevant international declarations and agreements, the Stockholm Declaration was prepared in close collaboration with the conference steering group representing several stakeholders. The declaration went through an extensive consultant process with member states and a transparent and inclusive public consultation process open to everyone around the world. And I'm proud to present the Stockholm Declaration as the final outcome document of the third Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety. In the past, road safety practice has largely been isolated from other policies areas, almost a separate process. However, more can be achieved if we see road safety as a component of many other processes. The UN Sustainable Development Goals are integrated and indivisible. And I think all areas of the 2030 agenda would benefit from more cooperation and an integrated and indivisible mindset. So the global nature of the road safety challenges calls for international cooperation and partnership across many sectors of society, especially in these times. In an increasingly polarized world, where differences between countries rather than common challenges are often in focus, we need more multilateral arenas for collaboration, not less. The countries of the world need to come together around our common challenges, as we are doing here in Stockholm today. We are not all the same. There are a multitude of benefits to be gained from regional cooperation and from knowledge exchange. Road safety is our shared responsibility, and I believe everyone in this room recognizes the importance of intensifying international cooperation and multilateralism in order to deliver a 50% reduction in deaths and injuries over the next decade. In light of this, we have worked to ensure broad stakeholder engagement around the Stockholm Declaration, and I want to underline and highlight some examples now in the declaration. We recognize our shared responsibility and call upon member states to contribute to reducing road traffic deaths by at least 50% from 2020 to 2030. In line with the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development's pledge, we honor the commitment that we made in 2015 and continue action on the road safety-related targets after 2020. To ensure action and to delivery in the next decade, we need strong political commitments on all levels, followed by regional, national and subnational strategies and action plans on road safety. This has to be done in a multi-sectoral partnership to deliver the scale of efforts that needed. If we are serious about halving the number of deaths in our roads by 2030, we need a holistic perspective and include road safety and a safe system approach as an integral element of land use, street design, transport system planning, and of course of governance. We do this by strengthening institutional capacity with regard to road safety laws, vehicle safety, infrastructure improvements, public transport, and post-crash care and data. Human errors will always be a factor, but technology can be a determining factor in whether they are paid for with human lives. We need to encourage the development, application, and deployment of existing and future technologies to improve all aspects of road safety, from crash prevention to emergency response and trauma care. We know that there are some well-known and proven behavioral road safety measures that could save hundreds and thousands of lives annually, but are still not being implemented in most countries. We need to focus on speed management, including the strengthening of law enforcement to prevent speeding and mandate a maximum road travel speed of 30 kilometers per hour in areas where vulnerable road users and vehicles mix in a frequent and planned manner. My ambition, thanks. This is an important goal. And my ambition is that we will start working in a more policy-integrated manner to allow and enable new partnerships and measures for mutual benefits. A high-level meeting at the level of heads of state and government will be important in order to start addressing the connections between road safety and other SDG and targets. And the Stockholm Declaration will be forwarded to our UN colleagues in New York, and it will form an important basis for the work of the annual General Assembly resolution on road safety. And I look forward to these discussions that I trust will clearly point out the direction for the UN, its member states, and its stakeholders in our joint work to achieve the goal of reducing the number of road traffic fatalities as part of the 2030 Agenda. And we invite the United Nations General Assembly to endorse the content of this declaration. We need to work together to translate the words into the declaration into real action on every highway, on every street, for every community, and for every child. That's why this declaration is important. It underlines the fact that road safety is not a concern for some, but for everyone. Parliaments, governments, and people from all parts of society can do more, and the private sector must understand its own importance and also contribute. So here we are, experts and politicians with knowledge and courage and the will to break this trend. We can do more. And my hope is that the Stockholm will be remembered, not as an event or as a declaration. No, I want it to be remembered as a starting point. The starting point for new focus on road safety, the starting point for policy integration with 2030 Agenda in focus, but also the starting point for better international knowledge sharing and cooperation. Words on paper are important, but it is how we act and what we do that really matters. So all of you here can be historic. During these 2 days, and after the conference, we have the opportunity to participate in something important for future generations, something bigger than ourselves, larger than our roads. Thank you very much.
Minister, thank you very much. You have provided us, as it were, with the infrastructure for our further discussions during the conference. We will be picking up on all of those themes in our high-level panels throughout the day today and tomorrow afternoon, and also in a wide array of parallel sessions tomorrow morning. This brings our opening session to a close, ladies and gentlemen. We now want to commemorate this very important occasion with a family photo. So I'm going to give instructions for that in just a moment, but let us first say thank you once again to His Majesty and to all of the speakers in this very inspiring opening session. Now, to do our family photo, this will involve all ministers, all heads of delegation, and all invited representatives, so all of those who were invited to take part in the family photo. Everyone else is welcome to adjourn now for a coffee break, and we will return at 11 a.m., please, to this hall for our next high-level panel. Those of you who are in the family photo, just stay in your seats one moment if you would, because I'm now going to give you instructions as to how we proceed, okay? Some ministers and heads of delegation, I think, are not in the first 4 rows. I would like them to please now get up along with, actually we're going to wait until the stage is cleared. Could we get the stage cleared now? Thank you. So, stay in your seats another moment because we're going to need the stage in order to array ourselves partly on stage. And I'm just going to keep talking while the stage is being cleared. And I'm going to switch now to the hand mic so you can understand me better. So, dear ministers and heads of delegation, please get ready, the 4th row and all of those who are scattered throughout the hall, to come up here on stage and move toward the middle of the stage. So 4th row only right now, please. 4th row, and those ministers and heads of delegation who are scattered amongst the audience. Please join now on stage. Please start joining us on stage and moving toward the center. And I'm going to take this row by row. So I'm starting with that 4th row of ministers and heads of delegation. Then we're going to take the 3rd row. And we'll take the 1st row at the end. Okay, you can start filling the stage, please. All invited ministers, heads of delegation, and delegates for the family photo. Ministers, heads of delegation, 4th row, and the 3rd row can also start joining us now. And please fill the whole stage. There are a good many of you, and we want to make sure to get everybody in the photo. Please not on the stairs yet. We're going to save this step. Please move toward the middle of the stage. Dear Excellencies, please do not stand on the step yet. Please move back a little bit into the middle of the stage. Otherwise, we won't all fit, okay? Please move back here. Do not fill the 1st row yet. Do not fill the 1st step yet, please. And fill the whole stage. You can go all the way to the side. We have wonderful wide-angle lenses that will allow us to get a picture of the whole stage. Can we try to fill the left-hand side of the stage, please, as well? All the way up on the stage. I'm trying to keep the 1st level free. So those of you who are on the 1st step, if you can move up, please, I would be very grateful. There's more space over here. Okay, do we have the 2nd row as well with us up here in the front? Omnia, you can be right in the middle. Okay, right there. May I ask all of those who are not in the family photo to go and avail yourself of the wonderful refreshments outside? That would be helpful because it's a bit crowded down here. Anyone not in the family photos, welcome to go get a coffee.
They don't have to take all pictures because
And please, we will have one official photo. I ask that we really limit our photo taking to the official photographers. Thank you. So, I would say, now I would please take our speakers from the opening session right here on the floor in the front. So, Your Majesty, the commissioners, Minister Eneroth, if you would please be right here in this very front row. Excuse me.
Mark from the World Bank. I think it's a problem when people with translation, they said the rows, people think that everyone's coming.
So once again, please, do we have any more ministers and heads of delegation who are not yet up here on the stage with us? Only ministers, heads of delegation, and invited delegates should be on the stage now. Okay, we're looking good. Everybody happy? Anybody missing? Okay, one moment.
Which camera do you want us to look at?
The photographer will raise his hand in order that you all know where to look, okay? Because we've got a whole lot of photographers here. Okay, we're ready to go. Would our official event photographer please raise his hand high so that we know where to look? The man in the white shirt, please, ladies and gentlemen, ministers, excellencies. Okay? Thank you very much, Excellencies. That went very quickly and was very efficient. Thank you very much. We'll see everybody back here at 11 a.m.